Huawei's slogan is leading the way, but apart from high prices, I haven't found anything else that's actually leading. Apple's slogan is that their phones can last for 8 years without lagging. Their system is truly impressive and unmatched. Samsung's slogan is that their screens can only be imitated, never surpassed. Xiaomi's slogan is to outcompete everyone else, one after the other. Huawei has long been known for being ahead in technology and innovation, often referred to as leading the way. This reputation comes from top Huawei officials frequently boasting about the company's superior technology and products. As a result, many people associate Huawei with being a leader in the field. However, a commentator in a recent video argues that Huawei is only ahead when it comes to high prices, dismissing its other claims. This viewpoint might seem extreme, but it's not entirely baseless. Huawei's dominance isn't just about pricing, it also extends to aggressive marketing, numerous in-device ads, and a passionate fanbase. Even though US sanctions have silenced some of Huawei's claims, it can't stop Huawei from leading in many other aspects. I advise everyone not to buy Huawei phones. They're just garbage products. Many apps have intrusive ads that are impossible to remove. These ads are everywhere and extremely annoying. No matter how hard you try, you can't get rid of them. I've tried to close them, but they just won't go away. I click decline and again, but they persist. I bought a phone, not a bundle of ads. Even after exiting apps, the ads remain. Huawei constantly pushes ads. This is why I urge everyone not to buy Huawei phones. The ads are impossible to remove. Even exiting doesn't work. Look at Apple phones. They don't have this nonsense. Even after restarting, the ads are still there. This is a message to Huawei's management. Look at how frustrating your practices are. I paid over 4,000 yuan for a phone. How am I supposed to use it? I strongly advise against buying Huawei phones. They are junk and should not be supported. In the past, when talking about domestic mobile phones, people would say, no ads, no Xiaomi. But now it's who leads in mobile ads? Huawei is the king. The number of ads in Huawei phones has surpassed its competitors. The commentator's frustration is understandable. Huawei's ads are everywhere and hard to remove without specific technical knowledge. Ignoring them is equally annoying, making it difficult for the average user to cope without a high level of patience. I find Huawei's ads are like peeling an onion, removing layer after layer. Let's take the Mate 40 Pro as an example and try to turn off the ad setting step by step. This blogger demonstrated step by step how to disable all the ads, covering personalized ads, ads and privacy, smart recommendation services, personalized recommendations, search for popular keywords, location-based service recommendations, personalized search suggestions, and ads in Huawei's built-in apps like Huawei Video, Music, and Reader. During the process, you'll realize how sophisticated Huawei's ad placement technology is, with layer upon layer of ads meticulously hidden in every possible spot. To completely disable them, you need the skill and patience of a gamer, as well as the determination and wisdom to hunt down every last ad. After successfully navigating multiple layers of settings, the vlogger finally achieved an ad-free screen. For most users, knowing where to find these settings is a first hurdle. Huawei phones are really annoying, you know. Their practices are distasteful. As a big brand representing national pride, this approach is very off-putting. Let me show you this Huawei phone, which I've just reset to factory settings. When we've just bought the phone, it is filled with featured app recommendations. So what are those? If you click on them, they start downloading. Most people don't know how to avoid that. Isn't this basically forcing us to download? Here, slide right, and look. Can you see this? Isn't it annoying? So I strongly recommend not giving this phone to elderly people. This is still the Harmony OS 4 system. It's all about making money. Their app store is even more annoying. Just open the app store, and it's filled with random recommendations. The growing discontent towards Huawei phones online isn't just about high prices for low specs. The excessive advertising is a significant factor. Some are puzzled as to why a giant like Huawei resorts to such tactics. it's seen as damaging to its reputation, exploiting loyal supporters, and taking advantage of patriotic sentiments. Since the US sanctions, Huawei has had a tough time and can no longer boast as it used to. While ad revenue is minimal compared to selling phones and cars, every bit counts. When it comes to exploiting patriotic sentiments, Huawei doesn't hold back. Take last year's release of the Mate 60 Pro flagship phone, for instance. It was touted as a fully self-developed, high-end phone, marking Huawei's return to the mainstream. Priced at 7,000 yuan, the hype surrounding it overshadowed even Apple. At its recent product launch, Huawei did not mention any chip upgrades or performance specifications for its new devices. Instead, the company highlighted features like satellite phones, Kunlun glass, the Harmony OS 4.0 system, IP68 water and dust resistance, and 5G. This presentation left patriotic fans feeling proud, believing that Huawei was once again technologically ahead. However, early user reviews for the Mate 60 Pro quickly exposed the phone's shortcomings, reigniting debates about Huawei's habit of offering high prices for low specs. According to initial user benchmarks, the Mate 60 Pro scored less than 700,000, significantly lower than the 1.2 million average of flagship phones using the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. Moreover, the features Huawei promoted were found lacking when compared to other brands, failing to meet high-end standards. Despite these issues, Huawei priced the so-called self-developed Mate 60 Pro at 6,999 yuan, with a 1TB model exceeding 10,000 yuan. This price stands out when similar devices from other domestic brands are available for around 2,000 yuan. Critics question how Huawei justifies selling a mediocre phone at such high prices. The answer lies in its ability to play the patriotism card, which has consistently found a willing market. Whether it's Huawei, BYD, or Urke, selling products at any price under the guise of patriotism is a reliable strategy. An article on Sohu titled, "Performance Scores Are Second-Rate, Prices Shocking. When Will Huawei Mate 60 Pro's Sentiment Consumption End?" criticizes Huawei for making consumers pay a fortune for domestic design and manufacturing sentiment, questioning the morality of this approach. Indeed, Huawei is selling sentiment rather than just phones. As long as there are buyers, prices can be set sky high. This strategy has proven successful for Huawei, although some consumers feel taken advantage of and regret their purchases. Many people praise Huawei phones. When the Mate 60 Pro was released last year, I was eager to get one. I thought I'd buy one once I could afford it. 6 months later, I finally managed to scrape together enough money to buy a Huawei phone. Let's start with checking out its beauty mode. Man, after spending so much money, can't you improve the beauty mode just a bit? Many fans say I look like I have a thyroid problem. What thyroid problem? Others say I look 10 years older. I haven't aged 10 years at all. It's because the Huawei phone's beauty mode is so bad. I spent 10,000 yuan on this phone, and now I have to download other beauty apps to take videos. When using it to shoot mirrored videos, they save in reverse, and there's no way to fix it. We're used to shooting in mirror mode. Now it's reversed. Ears, eyes, mouth, everything looks crooked. Someone might think I had a stroke. Look at this blogger's rant. One cannot help but burst into laughter. Well, if this were a female host, wouldn't she be furious on the spot seeing such an image? Consequently, some users express their preference for Apple, questioning why they don't support Huawei. One user said, "I do support Huawei, but it doesn't support me. The phones are increasingly expensive with low specs. How am I supposed to support that? An 8,000 yuan Huawei phone offers a worse experience than other domestic phones costing 4,000 to 5,000 yuan. My money doesn't grow on trees. Huawei claims to be high-end, but it's just high in price, low in specs." The Kirin 9000's chip is inherently a mid-range chip, reasonably priced at 2,000 to 3,000 yuan. But due to its so-called self-developed nature, Huawei dares to sell it for 7,000 to 10,000 yuan. If self-development results in high-priced, low-spec phones, what is its value? Is it merely a means to exploit patriotic sentiment? There are always clear-minded people in the world. Even among those who feel exploited, some will speak out because not everyone is truly naive. Of course, speaking out comes at a price. They get labeled with all sorts of derogatory terms and face harsh attacks online. There are rumors that Huawei has over 1 million internet water armies, though we can't say for sure if that's true. Internet water army is a term used to refer to groups of people hired to post fake or misleading content on social media. However, many people have experienced firsthand just how formidable Huawei's fanbase can be. How many actually dare to criticize Huawei phones? Negative comments get deleted, turning reviews into 100% positive feedback. Even mentioning that a certain camera is just for show can get you heavily criticized. Last year, I unboxed a P50 that had some defects. Countless bloggers with their internet water armies came to criticize and attack me. I posted the entire unboxing video, but it didn't help. I even recorded my conversations with JD.com's customer service, where they offered 100 yuan compensation, but that didn't help either. These fans have lost their reason. They believe the most ridiculous claims like 4G is better than 5G or the more you use it, the smoother it gets. Anyone who can think for themselves even just a little bit would never fall for these. They also don't accept any counter-arguments. When the idea that Huawei is leading the way is challenged by facts, they will lose all sense of rationality. This blogger also mentioned that another blogger had it worse. He compared Kunlun glass with other types of glass, but then he concluded that Kunlun glass is not as good. As a result, his comment section was blocked. There is a saying online, when the water armies attack, there's no room for even 1 inch of grass to grow. This refers to the formidable combat power of Huawei's internet water armies, which has reached a naval level. Most tech reviewers have experienced the wrath of Huawei's armies. I posted a video on Douyin just to share my thoughts and experiences using different phones. I've been selling and using phones for 15 to 16 years, so I think I'm qualified to talk about them. After all, it's my livelihood, right? I see it as a positive thing, sharing my insights and honest opinions with everyone. This blogger shared his experiences with the Mate 50 Pro and got attacked by thousands of people. Some even sent me private messages saying they would report my video, accusing me of being unpatriotic and a spy. What did I do to hurt you? I just shared my user experience. How does that make me a traitor? What's even more ridiculous is that some so-called patriots, brainwashed by the patriotism propaganda, see Huawei as a provider of their livelihood. Criticizing Huawei is seen as ungrateful and disloyal. What's wrong with saying Huawei's practices are distasteful? Are Huawei phones flawless? Is the brand untouchable? It's just a product for the public. If it has flaws, why can't we discuss them? Some people really have nothing better to do. They send me private messages accusing me of smearing Huawei. Do you really think Huawei is my provider? How? Did they buy me a car or a house? These people save up for a year to buy a Huawei phone and act superior. In China, anyone who criticizes the government is attacked by those so-called patriots. Now, it's even more extreme. Not just the government, you can't criticize Huawei, BYD, or any of these so-called national pride brands without facing a massive backlash. After such an ordeal, you'll be left traumatized for months. It's quite ironic because Huawei CEO Ren Zhengfei isn't anti-American at all. His family uses Apple products, his children have foreign residency and luxury homes, and he has openly expressed his admiration for the US. Yet patriotic fans choose to ignore this. Why are we promoting the idea that we're surpassing the US? In what way are we ahead of them? Is it in making mapo tofu or yushang shredded pork? Be more specific, okay? We are already ahead of the United States in mapo tofu and yushang shredded pork. So why are we not a threat to the United States? We need to acknowledge the US's strength. People shouting slogans probably haven't even been to the US. It's brave but naive. The US is too powerful for us to surpass that easily, but we shouldn't resign ourselves to thinking we will never surpass them. The slogan of surpassing the US is good for morale, but should be understood as a motivational spirit rather than a literal truth. Ren Zhengfei once said that claiming to surpass the US is just talk. Don't take it seriously. Unfortunately, some people don't understand the deeper meaning of his words, while others have caught on. That is, sure, China's technology is leading, and we should support patriotic brands, but just with words is sufficient. Actually spending hard-earned money and getting ripped off, we're not that naive.